And away we go. It is another nightcap right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com to download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Get down to Galactic Fried Chicken in Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off your order. Get you some tendies. Get you the Kelsey favorite. Go with some chicken legs. I usually go with some fried chicken, sometimes thighs, sometimes a breast. But it's always delicious no matter what you get. Get you some sides, some mashed potatoes, some fries, some macaroni and cheese, fried pickles, whatever it is.
Deviled eggs.
Deviled eggs. There's a reason they've been voted number 2 chicken in the city, number 2 chicken sandwich in the city, and number 3 gluten-free spot in the city of Cincinnati, and that's because it's awesome. What else can we tell you? Hi, Aaron.
Hi, Chad.
We've had a busy day today.
A little bit.
Got to chat with Dad a little bit earlier this afternoon. Coach Fickle joined us. Look, man, that's to get him at this time of the year with what he's got going on right now. You're going to see him ad nauseum over the next 4 days. Like, he's going to be everywhere.
You got him right before the storm.
Right. That was kind of, I hit up the sports information department, our guy Zach Stipe, and I was like, can I get him tomorrow? Like, because I know Wednesday is going to be chaos, and then Thursday they're going to be heading to Vegas for the draft with Sauce. They're going to be busy Friday as round 2 rolls on and into the weekend. So we got him at the perfect time, and super cool of Luke to take a little time out of his busy schedule for little old Bearcat Journal.
How big of a moment do you think that's going to be, though, after, Sauce hears his name called, and then Coach calls him Sauce for the very first time?
I mean, that's where we have to start tonight, right? Like, Sauce was on Rich Eisen today and revealed this, because that's why I asked the question during the interview.
Right.
Luke has never called him Sauce. Like, even when he allowed for Sauce to become a thing, because remember, he came to campus and he was like, everybody calls me Sauce. And Luke was like, no, we call you Ahmad. Your name's Ahmad. Your mama named you Ahmad. I'm going to call you Ahmad. And then after the pick 6 at UCF, I need to dig that up. That's the first, I asked him in the post-game press conference, like, does he get to be Sauce? And Luke was kind of like, I guess he's kind of earned it. And then I asked him in the weekly press conference after the pick 6 against SMU, I was like, he's Sauce now, right? And he's like, yeah, I guess if they want to call him Sauce in the locker room, they can call him Sauce. But to Luke, he's always been Ahmad. But we learned that Thursday night, Luke is going to call him Sauce. That's vindication, right? That's validation right there.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. You wait for that one moment, though, and like for it all to come together at that moment when, top 5, top 10, picking the entire NFL draft, and your coach, who clearly you're very close with, you're inviting him to be there with you when your name is called, and you get to hear from him for the very first time, like, congrats, Sauce, knowing how much it means to him as he wears it proudly on his chest.
Right.
I don't know. Just, it would be a very cool moment that only the two of them will really ever understand.
Well, I mean, we'll get into this Thursday night a million times, I'm sure, but the kid's going to potentially, and if not be the number 1 highest rated draft pick in program history, he's going to be number 2. Like, the first round pick at UC in 50 years.
That's crazy.
Like, and to think it's Sauce, like, to us, he's just Sauce. Like, he's just a guy that we've been around for 3 years now and gotten to know well, and he's got a charming personality, and he's funny, and he's engaging, and NFL teams are starting to figure that out. And hearing Luke talk about that, like, that was one of the key things to me. And we're going to be talking about this interview a lot today. So if you haven't listened to it yet, pause this video, then go listen to the Luke Fickle interview, and then come back, because then this video will make more sense. But Luke said he's talking to NFL teams that are calling him like, is this real? Is this like this is really who this kid is really this like polished and basically flawless? And the answer is yeah.
Well, and you had
He
another example of just who he is this weekend as he was at the baseball game
yeah.
for a half hour signing for little leaguers. Like,
I guess there's like a 12-year-old's birthday party, and he brought his little league team to the UC game. And for like a half hour, they just bombarded Sauce with interviews. And what did Sauce say on Twitter afterwards? Like, look, I was a little kid. I remember how that stuff was, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I just want to put a smile on their face.
And like, I don't know. Some could say that he was doing it because the cameras were out or because he knows people are watching.
Those people are idiots.
Well, because you've seen him at after games when all the players are walking off the field and kids are coming onto the field as you're able to do at Nippert easily.
Right.
That's just who we've always seen him be. He's not one to be like, and I don't have time for that.
He never got the big head. He never got too big for the moment, too big for the situation. Look, you know how easy it would have been for Sauce to go in the transfer portal after year 2, after playing, being on a team that went to a New Year's Six Bowl. Now, he didn't get to play against Georgia, and they win that game if he plays against Georgia, by the way.
I don't know how you could argue that at this point.
Right. They win that game. And maybe comfortably, because George Pickens was the guy that ate them alive.
But then everything changes, right? I don't know that this team comes back for the national championship if they beat Georgia.
No, I don't know. You're right. Right. But we talked about that before. Like, what happened against Georgia set the stage for what was to come.
Right.
But that game's different with Sauce. But Sauce easily could have, I'm in the portal. I'm going to Alabama. I'm going to Clemson. I'm going to Ohio State. Whatever the case would have, every one of them would have taken him immediately on the spot at that point.
No questions asked.
But you saw how much love he had for his teammates, how much, respect he had for the university, for his brothers.
For the one who wouldn't call him Sauce.
For the one who wouldn't call him Sauce. And now he gets to leave a legacy here that is going to be eternal, right?
Right. It could go untouched, like just completely untouched, like forever.
I mean, I said it at the end of the season. He's the most dominant player to ever wear the red and black. There's never been a player in that uniform more dominant than what Sauce Gardner was for his 3 years on the field.
And that's also, you're saying that in the same breath as you say, oh, on the other side of the football, there's a guy who won 46 games and was, a top 10 winningest college football quarterback historically.
Right. Think about this, though. So what were they in 2020? That was the year they lost to Memphis. So they lost the 2 Memphis games and the Ohio State game? Or was that 19?
Oh. Come back to me on that.
Well, wait. 21 was this year. 20 was the year before. 19, I think, was Ohio State in the 2 Memphis games.
Yeah.
So 3, he didn't play in the Georgia game, but he played in the Alabama game. He lost 4 games Sauce did in his 3-year career on campus. That was all that he lost. So while you rave over what Dez did, guess what? Sauce had a big hand in that as well.
He sure did.
So it's going to be really cool to see the hype that he gets, the hype that the university gets. We talked about this like last night, I think, or whatever. Like he's going to have the best drip. Like he's going to have the freshest look at the draft on Thursday night in the green room. Everybody's going to be talking about him. He's going to have the chain on. He's going to have the bling. He's going to have the grill, and he's going to steal the show. Like that's what that kid does. And then when he hears his name called, Luke Fickell's going to call him Sauce.
All while not changing an ounce of his personality.
Nope, not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. He was this kid when he got here, and he's this kid when he leaves. He's just going to be a lot richer come Thursday night. Going to have a lot more money come Thursday night.
How soon does he have his own parking spot right out there by the bubble? where he just
Never.
I mean, you're not going to give him another parking ticket, right? There's no way.
Well, no, they are. That you know how UC parking works.
Come
He will
on.
absolutely always get a parking ticket for parking there.
You
But
will
you know
never pay one of them.
He's always going to park there. Like that part is never going to stop. Everybody else parks in like the Varsity Village garage or, somewhere around campus. Sauce is like, I park here. If we're practicing here, I park here. And if we're practicing at Nippert, I park in the tunnel by the visiting team's locker room.
Probably.
Get him his own, just label. Like, even if you're going to give him the ticket, you just sauce parking.
Well, he's not going to need like a pass or anything in the window because it's somewhere on his vehicle will say sauce.
Absolutely.
Maybe not for the one that he rents when he comes here to Cincinnati because he'll be off in New York or whatever.
But. Absolutely. All right, let's get to the other thing we wanted to talk about tonight, and that we talked on this with Luke Fickell, and that's in light of the Corey Kiner transfer becoming official yesterday. Boy, Aaron, when you go back and look at what this team has done in the transfer portal, it's kind of staggering under Luke Fickell and company. We'll start with 2019 because that's really, they didn't take any transfers in 18. 19 was really when they got the ball rolling. Here's the transfers they took in 2019.
I have it. I'll share it.
Okay, why don't you do that? I mean,
you have to click like 7 things to share the screen.
Blue Smith, who has, hopefully started to make a little bit of a move up the roster. He's dealt with a ton of injuries. That's been unfortunate, but he's still a guy that's here and has a chance to make an impact. Darian Beavers, going to get drafted. Kyrique McDonald, unfortunately, had the recurrence of the health issue that was one of the more scary things I think we've ever seen as a UC fan. So that one didn't work out. Tanishi Berry was a walk-on, came from Duke, blew out his ACL. James Hudson, draft pick. Garen Prater was a walk-on, led to the commitment of another guy that we know, Evan Prater. So that was a valuable get if it helped out in landing Evan. And then there's one that wasn't listed on that sheet because he probably didn't even have a profile, and that's Brian Cook.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good transfer haul. You're looking at James Hudson, Darian Beavers, and Brian Cook are all going to be drafted from the transfers that they took in 2019. And that was really the first time that it was like, okay, we started to see Luke Fickell's philosophy in the transfer portal. Enhance the rooms, find guys you think that are going to make you better, and then let them get out there and ball. 2020. Jordan Jones, solid wide receiver, solid part of the makeover. Remember, he was part of that makeover of the wide receiver room. Had a couple nice games. Michael Young, super productive in the slot for Cincinnati, coming from Notre Dame. Jerome Ford, going to get drafted. And Noah Davis provided a lot of depth and quality to the tight end room. So once again, a star, a starter, and a couple guys that made their positional depth better than before they were added. So another highly successful transfer portal. And then we go to 2021. As Aaron clicks. Clicky, 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 clicky. You got to click faster.
There's, again, 7 things.
Devin Hightower, walk-on from Michigan State, who has been running with the twos some this spring. So a guy that has a chance to make an impact. James Tunstall is going into his second season as a starting left tackle, and Jawan Briggs is going to be your starting nose tackle. Again, effective. They don't scramble. They're not making a bunch of reaches to try to, completely remake what the team looks like. They're not relying on these guys to be the face of the franchise, to be the foundation of the franchise. But as we have learned, and just looking at these three transfer classes, they've made those rooms better. They've found a couple gems, and they found a couple stars. And there's quite a few of them that are going to either have already or will hear their name called in the NFL draft. And you have to say, when looking at the transfer portal, Cincinnati and Luke Fickell have been wildly successful, and look to add Corey Kiner to that list.
Boy, I would love to see the matrix that he was talking about, that they get out anytime that they're looking at a guy to transfer.
Yeah, I would too. It'd be very interesting. Here's the go to 22, actually, because this is even more fascinating, right? We know Kiner is the main one,
right,
that will be joining the team here in the summer. But you got a couple other guys in here that I think we're going to be talking a lot about throughout this season and maybe the next. Corey Kiner, D'Artagnan Tinsley, who they have looked at. He's been running second team right guard. Ben Bryant, right in the heat of the quarterback battle. Nick Mardner, very much a factor this spring as a big threat on the outside. Ivan Pace, a lot of snaps this spring with the 1s and 2s at linebacker. And then Ryan Coe is going to be your kicker for the next 2 years. If you don't think that group is going to be just as successful as some of the other ones we've seen, I don't know what to tell you. Like, they have been, it's almost like recruiting. They almost don't miss, Aaron. It's been impressive.
An insane hit rate that they're working with right now with the transfer, in regards to the transfer portal.
And the matrix, what it has a lot to do with, do we have a relationship? How well do we know the kid? How well do we know what makes him tick? Is he going to be able to come in here and function, in this setting as a member of this team?
Well, and that all kind of piggybacks on what he was talking about as far as what he watches when he goes to watch these kids. How are they coming on and off the field? Like, how are they carrying themselves when they're off the field? Like, just the things that he watches and to just kind of get a glimpse as to how his mind works. Fascinating.
And this is what the good coaches do. The good coaches don't watch just to see if, they don't come to your basketball game to see you score 40. They come to find out what makes you tick. What are you all about? What kind of person are you? And they've got a system here that is humming, brother. Humming.
No other way to play.
All right. Tomorrow, 5 o'clock Central, I believe. So I guess it'll be 6 o'clock Eastern. I'll confirm that this evening to make sure we know exactly, so people aren't at 5 o'clock, like, what's happening? And it's really 6 o'clock. I believe if he says 5, he's in Memphis. That means 6. I'm working under that assumption until I'm told otherwise. But Landers Nolly, let's look at the timeline here. He visited Cincinnati. He got here Saturday night. He left Monday morning. Where this NC State guy keeps saying he was barely here for 24 hours. He was here for like 40 hours. I don't know. I know you're trying to set your people up for whatever narrative you're trying to set up, but Friday night through Monday, late morning, early afternoon, is a lot longer than 24 hours.
Maybe time works different in the Wolfpack.
He had dinner Friday night and breakfast Monday morning. That's a pretty long visit. And then Wes and company hit the PJ to see him this afternoon or late morning, early afternoon. And then basically as soon as they leave, he announces that he's committing tomorrow at 5 o'clock. 1 + 1 + 1 is almost always 3.
I feel like I had girls stay over during college that long that I had to break up with in order to get them to leave.
To get them to leave, right?
Right.
Friday night was Friday night was okay. Maybe we went to get some brunch, right? And
Saturday got weird.
What? Oh, you're staying tonight too, huh? Yeah, I kind of have plans tonight. Like, oh, that's fine, I'll go with you. Or, oh, that's fine, I'll wait here. This isn't gonna work. This isn't gonna work. That's the nightcap. We'll see you tomorrow, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
Sip!